Well, another cracking day in Melbourne. Welcome to Melbourne Park for day 2 of the Australian Open Wildcard Play-off for 2012. Well, yesterday saw plenty of impressive performances, none more so than Ash Barty. She'll be back in action today, but plenty more highlights out of yesterday as well, and plenty to look forward to today. Brett Phillips, it was certainly a very interesting day's action.
Fantastic day's action, Pete. We've got another glorious day today, but look, some of the highlights yesterday, Ash Barty, as you mentioned, comprehensive against Casey Delacqua. It was a great effort in straight sets. We saw Sam Groth and his comeback earlier in the day, JP Smith, and the day ended with Luke Saville, a real battle to beat Chris O'Connell. Very impressive young player from New South Wales.
We'll get to those highlights a little bit later, but plenty of action coming up today, and it all kicks off with a player who impressed yesterday, JP Smith.
Well, battle of the lefties, and Chris Guccione, of course, has had the bye in the opening round. He was out here practicing at Melbourne Park yesterday, so I reckon we're going to see some big thunderous serves coming down today.
And then an interesting match for Ash Barty after the euphoria of winning yesterday over the number 1 seed Casey Delacqua. Well, maybe a lesser challenge, but you've got to take every match as it comes against Stephanie Bengtson. Well,
Bengtson, of course, played Emmeline Starr and did push her. Emmeline eventually got through the 8th seed, but look, Ashley's in a rich vein of form. She's confident. She doesn't show a lot of emotion out on court, but a great temperament.
Well, talking about someone who does show a lot of emotion out on the court, Sam Groth. It was, he had it up and down yesterday. He's got a tougher challenge today against Marinko Matosevic. Will need to be at his top game.
Absolutely. We just saw Sam out here. He's been practicing. Matosevic, of course, making the final here last year. What a battle it was against Peter Luchak. So Marinko in good form, having had the bye, but Sam, if he can get that first serve going, he's going to be a handful.
And then Luke Saville to round out the program. He takes on James Duckworth. Interesting match here.
Great battle. I mean, Luke had to work overtime. Chris O'Connell has certainly had the wood on him in the past. Duckworth has had a really solid year. I reckon we might have 3 sets in that one.
Absolutely. Plenty to look forward to today weather-wise. Well, no threat of rain. Another beautiful day in Melbourne, a top of 28 degrees. We've had a little bit of breeze around the court, but it won't affect the players too much.
Wouldn't have thought so. So if you're coming down to Melbourne Park, free of charge, get some sunscreen on, enjoy what is going to be a terrific day's tennis all around the courts, which we'll keep people updated on.
Free entry into Melbourne Park as well. We need to take a break. On the other side, we'll take you through some of the highlights from yesterday's action in case you miss it, and then all the action from today. Stay with us here on tennis.com.au.
Ready, play. At the biggest sport and entertainment event of the Australian summer. Australian Open 2012. Book a Ticketek now. Ready, play at Australian Open 2012. A ticket to the biggest sport and entertainment event of the Australian summer makes the perfect Christmas gift and outstanding value for the whole family. The best in the world are coming, so book at Ticketek now.
And welcome back to Melbourne Park. A beautiful day, as we mentioned, for tennis. Plenty of great action coming your way, and the first match for today will be underway in just a matter of moments. JP Smith taking on Chris Guccione, again alongside Brett Phillips, as we take a look at the highlights from yesterday. And it certainly was a big day of action and some impressive performances, none more so than the player on screen now, Ashley Barty, dismantling Casey Delacroix, who was on a hot streak coming into this tournament.
It's hard to believe, Pete. She's only 15 years of age and obviously has had a terrific year, and she came in with no real expectation, no real game plan, just wanted to get some more matches under her belt. She's not thinking about the Australian Open next year. She's only 15. Boy, oh boy, she could have some sort of week here. Who knows what could happen. Casey, a little bit off her game. First loss in 31 matches. So maybe it was going to come at some stage, and we'll see how Casey bounces back today.
Yeah, absolutely. Didn't know quite what to expect with Ashley Barty. The two hadn't played before, but an impressive win for Ash Barty. Showed no signs of nerves either, and we'll be hoping to carry that form into today. So she advanced through in straight sets, and really that throws that round robin group, the blue group, wide open. Yeah,
it certainly does. She was terrific, comprehensive, great temperament off the court. She handles some media extremely well. I think we've got a future star in the making, so well done to Ashley Barty.
Absolutely. Some of the other matches from yesterday. Sam Groth, we talked about his topsy-turvy game. He's coming back to the tour. Hasn't played since March, played the Pro Tour event in Bendigo, and is working his way back, and consistency is the key for him.
No doubt. Look, we saw it all on display with Sam. You'll see the raw emotion there. He was pumped up from the start. That's what gets him going. We just had a chat to him as he finished up his practice session. It works for him to be animated. He needs to talk to himself out there. It's a rolling commentary. It's fascinating for us to watch. But if that first serve is at a high percentage, he's going to be in most tennis games that he plays. So it's just that consistency off the ground, as you said, he's got to get right.
So a straight sets win for him, and I'm going to look forward to the rolling commentary a little bit later. He takes on Marinko Matosevic. I told him to amp it up a little bit more because we weren't hearing enough out of him yesterday. That was a good pass by John Peers.
The highlights of the day. Yeah.
Few and far between. It was more off the Groth racket from yesterday, but he'll take plenty of confidence out of this win and a step up in class today against Marinko Matosevic. And as I said, he'll need to be at the top of his game, particularly that first serve. And let's see if he can dispatch a ball into the Yarra again later on today. So that match coming up, that's the third match up on our feature court today. So we're looking forward to that one to see how Sam Groth has come, and a chance for Marinko to get on the board too as he pushes for another Australian Open wildcard.
Yeah, Marinko, we're out here practicing, signing lots of autographs yesterday with a lot of the kids in at Melbourne Park, and still very popular.
So here's JP Smith. This was our first match on court, taking on Maverick Baines, and a good match for JP. He made very few errors. He got into the match early. He dropped the first game, but then just went on a roll from there, and he was just too classy for young Maverick.
Well, we haven't seen a lot of JP Smith play here in Australia. We know about his decorated college tennis career over in the States. He's been over there for the best part of the last 4 or 5 years and had some outstanding
Pro Tour event in Bendigo, and is working his way back, and consistency is the key for him.
No doubt. Look, we saw it all on display with Sam. You'll see the raw emotion there. He was pumped up from the start. That's what gets him going. We just had a chat to him as he finished up his practice session. It works for him to be animated. He needs to talk to himself out there. It's a rolling commentary. It's fascinating for us to watch. But if that first serve is at a high percentage, he's going to be in most tennis games that he plays. So it's just that consistency off the ground, as you said, he's got to get right.
So a straight sets win for him, and I'm going to look forward to the rolling commentary a little bit later. He takes on Marinko Matosevic. I told him to amp it up a little bit more because we weren't hearing enough out of him yesterday. That was a good pass by John Peers.
The highlights of the day. Yeah.
Few and far between. It was more off the Groth racket from yesterday, but he'll take plenty of confidence out of this win and a step up in class today against Marinko Matosevic. And as I said, he'll need to be at the top of his game, particularly that first serve. And let's see if he can dispatch a ball into the Yarra again later on today. So that match coming up, that's the third match up on our feature court today. So we're looking forward to that one to see how Sam Groth has come, and a chance for Marinko to get on the board too as he pushes for another Australian Open wildcard.
Yeah, Marinko, we're out here practicing, signing lots of autographs yesterday with a lot of the kids in at Melbourne Park, and still very popular.
So here's JP Smith. This was our first match on court, taking on Maverick Baines, and a good match for JP. He made very few errors. He got into the match early. He dropped the first game, but then just went on a roll from there, and he was just too classy for young Maverick.
Well, we haven't seen a lot of JP Smith play here in Australia. We know about his decorated college tennis career over in the States. He's been over there for the best part of the last 4 or 5 years and had some outstanding pick of the games. Matty Reid, of course, recent success in Bendigo. He was out here practicing for quite some time yesterday. He also had the bye, taking on Nicholas Kyrgios of the ACT. So some great matches will keep people updated.
Yeah, plenty of scores throughout today, but our first match is about to get underway. The players are making their way onto court, and JP Smith is with Adrian Franklin. Good morning to you, Adrian.
Thank you, Brett. JP, yesterday you had a relatively tough match. Did you pull up okay today?
Yeah, feel great. Got some good recovery in, and playing again this time again the other day, it's going to help out a lot. So used to conditions. So
play well.
All right, thank you.
So we just wait for the Gooch to make his way through. All kids are in position. Crowd making their way in. Remember, if you are at Melbourne Park today, free entry. And plenty of other matches going on outside of the Wildcard Play-off, part of the wider December showdown. All the details at tennis.com.au. To be part of the conversation today on Twitter, just hashtag AO Playoff, and we'll read out a selection of your tweets today. Keep the conversation running if you are watching us, wherever you might be around the place today. We've got some cardio tennis to come this afternoon, featuring the AFL team, the North Melbourne Kangaroos.
Yes.
And one of their players, Liam Anthony, has been doing some internship work here with Tennis Australia and is right into the cardio tennis program, a magnificent program that they're just starting to roll out here at Tennis Australia, and hopefully we'll have a chance to see it in action and have a chat to a couple of the boys. That's coming up a little bit later today.
No, it should be fantastic, Peter. Great day just to come and sit out in the sun. We had some terrific crowds coming through yesterday, so if you are in the vicinity of Melbourne Park, park the car, park yourself at the tennis. Something to eat and drink, of course, in the cafe inside, so you can be well replenished and enjoy what should be a terrific day of tennis.
Some of the other matches today, Ben Mitchell, the number 3 seed, takes on Matty Barton from New South Wales. James Lemke also in action. Looking at some of the other matches today. Plenty of women's matches, of course, with the round robins continuing.
And Storm Sanders, what a terrific win yesterday. This young girl from WA taking on Victoria Rajacic of Victoria. So that should be a terrific game out on Court 8. Isabella Holland will also be in action against Alenka Hubacek, Olivia Rogowska taking on Daniela Jeffley of New South Wales. So some quality matches, and we've talked about, certainly on the men's side, it's extremely open. Maybe now it's opening up on the women's side as well, with Casey going down yesterday. So a real opportunity for some of these young players to make their mark, and they've got to come out here. There's no tomorrow. This is their moment to shine. They've got to just play every moment as if it's their life depends on it.
Well, we'll have a clearer idea after today of how those round robins are going to work, whether we need to go back to the countbacks, etc., etc. So we'll have a clearer idea on that today, and of course keep you up to date as the day goes on.
We just saw Casey there in deep discussion with her coach, talking about the game plan for today against Emmeline Starr. She has been practicing on court number 9 just next to us here, and she seems to be in a pretty good frame of mind. I mean, we've only dropped one of your last 31, so it's not the end of the world. And
exactly.
She was just a little bit off yesterday, but she got her first chance to have a look at Ashley Barty, and no doubt it'll be better prepared for next time.
Well, in some ways the pressure's off a little bit,
yeah,
to keep that streak going. It's now finished. She doesn't have to worry about that anymore, and can just focus on knuckling down. So plenty of the players warming up on the outside courts this morning. Well, I see a few more famous names around the place. I know Sam Stosur's on her way to Sydney to do a bit of work with the APIA tournament up there. But Chris Guccione has now arrived on courts. He's with Adrian Franklin.
Gucci, you were training from about 8 o'clock this morning. You look pretty relaxed out there.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's going to be a tough match, but I've been hitting the ball well, so give it my best and see what happens.
Good luck.
Thanks.
So the players will get into their warm-up, and we'll get this one underway. JP Smith on your screen there. 1 and 3 yesterday. Good performance.
Well, the great part, Peter, I'm just really keen to see how Chris Guccione goes about it today. I mean, the great part about being an individual sports person is you can decide your career. I mean, if you obviously got injuries, you step out, you can come back, you can determine your exit from the sport. Gooch has, obviously been at 60 in the world, has had a big game, obviously had a lot of injuries right throughout his career. Now he's ranked outside the top 250, so he's got to come back and do the hard yards, come through the playoff here, and If he's not successful this week, try and go through qualifying in the days leading up to the Australian Open. So we're going to take you to the coin toss right now.
Covered by a lot of people, except on calling bases, long lines are calling through the net. Any questions? No, heads or tails? Tails is the call. Tails it is. Yep.
And how he goes about it is going to be really, really fascinating, Chris Guccione, because it's a long, long climb back. And whether he can get back to being in the world's top 100, gee, it gets difficult, doesn't it? When you're, what's Gucci, 28? You have to be late 20s. I'll double check that, but he has been around, of course, on the tour for quite a long time.
It does get harder.
26.
To be able to keep going, to keep backing up, to keep playing at Challenger and Futures level, particularly Challenger level. You're off the main tour. You play Challenger tournaments as opposed to trying to qualify for ATP events. Is your ranking high enough? All those considerations come into play.
And still, you know, Chris Guccione's got the capability of being an effective Davis Cup player in the doubles for Australia, depending on the composition of that team for next year. And of course revealed today that the Geelong Lawn Tennis Club will be hosting the tie in February. Australia and China next year, which is terrific for Geelong.
Certainly is. So there is JP Smith, as we mentioned, spent 4 years playing college tennis over in Tennessee. Received plenty of accolades too. We were talking yesterday about winning an award and being presented with that award in front of a lazy 100 large people.
Yeah, well, he spoke beautifully yesterday. He's a man with a lot of confidence, and he's gone down a different route that's taken him over to the United States, and now he really begins. He won a Futures of Energy, made mention, Pete, yesterday over in the US, and he really now starts on his journey to travel the world and play tennis and see if he can get that ranking much higher. So he's got the benefit of being a left-hander, pretty solid off the ground. But a man with sort of a vast resume, if you like. He's got an economics degree, and he's obviously thought about life outside of tennis, because you never quite know when your career is going to end. A very interesting young man.
Yep, well spoken as well, which is good.
Well, I don't think I've heard too many tennis players that aren't well spoken. It must be the media training department who are just doing some fine work and earning their dollars, teaching them the tricks of the trade.
So Chris Guccione, the moment ranked 257 in the world. It's obviously dropped down of late. Did play Davis Cup, or was a part of the squad against China in July this year, but has struggled at the top level. Come down and played a number of Challenger tournaments. I think was runner-up at Burnie earlier in the year. Played over in France, the quarterfinals over there. A couple of round of 16s on the way through as well.
Well, he'd be hoping he might be able to be part of that Davis Cup team in February, because he's a mad Geelong supporter. He won this year's AFL Premiership.
So not too far away from a start in this match. We mentioned 28 degrees if you're just joining us. Sunny, and sunny for the rest of the week. I've been talking a little bit about some of the other matches on the outside courts today. We'll be keeping an eye on. Adrian will be all over it today. Adrian, good to see you've changed your pants colour too.
Thank you, mate. Yes, there's plenty happening today. We've just been in the cafe before, and James Lemke, who's going to play his first match today, actually ordered a short black about 5 minutes ago. So perhaps that's something I can ask him about later after he wins, hopefully. Maybe that's one of his little idiosyncrasies, ordering a coffee before he goes out there. We've also got a couple of big matches. Greg Jones, the number 1 seed, is heading out there very soon. So he's on court 7, so we'll update plenty throughout the day. We've got a couple of big matches. Ash Barty obviously coming up, so she's playing, as mentioned, a slightly lesser player today, but yeah, she's obviously going to do incredibly well, we hope, and hopefully I can talk to her a bit later. The North Melbourne football team are coming in just after midday today as well. So Liam Anthony, who's been working at Tennis Australia over the past few months, has organised a cardio tennis session, so you can come down and check that out. I think it's out on court 9 after midday today. So as we've mentioned, it's free entry today, so come down. Beautiful day. It's 28 degrees, so it's going to be very warm. the players out there early, probably slightly advantageous for them at the moment, but we'll look throughout the day. The weather's going to warm up, so it may be a bit of a struggle out there for some of the players, but I'll be here all day. Maybe I was thinking on the Twitter, if people want to send some tweets in and let me know where they want to see me out there, maybe up as high as I can possibly go, up near the cameraman, any matches, anything you want me to do. I'm pretty open-minded, guys, so I'll do whatever you want me to do.
As long as they can keep it clean, of course. Hashtag AO Play-off. And Adrian, just tell us a little bit about cardio tennis. It's a fairly new program.
Yeah, absolutely. It's similar to Hot Shots. It's one of the priorities for Tennis Australia. So it's a focus on the 20th of the day. The weather's going to warm up, so it may be a bit of a struggle out there for some of the players, but I'll be here all day. Maybe I was thinking on the Twitter, if people want to send some tweets in and let me know where they want to see me out there, maybe up as high as I can possibly go, up near the cameraman, any matches, anything you want me to do. I'm pretty open-minded, guys, so I'll do whatever you want me to do.
As long as they can keep it clean, of course. Hashtag AO Play-off. And Adrian, just tell us a little bit about cardio tennis. It's a fairly new program.
Yeah, absolutely. It's similar to Hot Shots. It's one of the priorities for Tennis Australia. So it's a focus on the 20 to 35 years of age, that sort of market. The people that used to play tennis as juniors haven't played in quite a long time. So we're bringing them back. It's about a 45-minute session out on court. It's just plenty of tennis, plenty of running. So it's kind of combining gym and tennis on the court. So if you want to come down, you can check out the North Melbourne football team, as I mentioned, after midday today. And yeah, you can find out a bit more about cardio tennis.
Brett, you might have to fill because I reckon I just might get the runners on, just have a go out there. Well, it's a bit beyond you, 20 to 35.
Your cardio. Now, you told
He's
me
not existed.
You told me coming in today that you'd played last night. You barely survived the opening game.
I could barely make it up the stairs today. That's how bad I am. That's why I need cardio tennis.
Oh, you're a little bit injured at the moment, but Adrian was mentioning there a request. He will do anything. He won't knock anything back. So hashtag us, AO Playoff. Send in your tweets and anything you want Adrian to do.
He might even wear some
do
decent pants and shoes for a change.
Well, I reckon he's dressed immaculately today.
Really?
Got the,
we're going to throw that open in the
pants.
Twitter. We'll get a shot of him in his full get-up a little bit later. And I think towards the end of the tournament, we're going to need to sort of compare his outfits over the course of the week.
No, he's a star. He'll be floating around the courts. Plenty of updates with all the matches.
So we're set for a start in this one. Chris Guccione to serve. We're just picking up where he left off from yesterday, really.
That is a beautiful return from JP Smith.
Yeah, a little bit short from Gooch on that second ball. And again, that's too short on that second serve from Guccione. Hello to Ben Sutton 1. Everyone should get the live stream for the AO Playoff up. Guccione in action is a must watch, and he's hashtagged it with long live the Gooch.
So JP gets another look at a second serve.
Look at that one too.
Well, it's set right up for him, but
early break in the opening game.
Yeah, that'll give him a lot of confidence. Obviously a real step up playing a Chris Guccione type player today, but to get the opening break. And Guccione only able to get one of his first serves in during that opening service game. So it gave JP a really good look at the slower second serve.
John Patrick Smith to set. Out 15 left.
Struggling to find his range early at the moment, Guccione. It's taking a little bit of time to settle.
Thanks, Paul. Thank you. It's 30 love.
He only played the 3 ATP Tour events this year, Guccione. Indian Wells, Washington and Sydney. It's a runner-up in Burnie earlier in the year.
Again, too short on the approach, and Smith was there to gobble it up. Just left that ball floating, easily put away. Guccione's been as high as 67 in the world. A little while ago now, back in 2008.
Game Smith.
Easily put away, holding to love, JP Smith. Two
Smith
games
leads.
to love now.
2 games to love.
Off to a flyer in this second round match.
Certainly is. Certainly, we've talked about Pete Guccione's injury troubles in the last few years. I think it was the Achilles with Chris, which is a really tough injury and tough to come back from.
Oh, terrific. Terrific. Great change up that
Love
time.
15.
See that Guccione committed to the nets and moving forward as well. Just easily putting over his head. Just again short on the approach. When he got to the net anyway off the first serve.
15. Oh.
Well, that's what can happen when that first serve goes in. Unplayable most of the time. It's the positioning right.
That's 15.
So obviously the big weapon there.
$40.50.
That's better. Now starting to get that first serve going. Taking a little while to get started, Guccione, but we're looking for an easy service game here. Picking it up beautifully again. Having to work into the middle of the court, Brett. Just again past the outstretched racket. And a big wingspan too for Guccione.
Yes. He's come up with some great returns. So he's got some nice touch at the moment, JP Smith.
Game Guccione.
So after a little bit of a struggle there, Guccione is on the boards. But JP Smith leading 2 games to 1. He's got the break in this opening set. Well, Adrian Franklin is just wandering around, all on his own really. Where are you, Adrian?
I'm just over here. Can you see me? Have you got me?
Yeah, you're a long way away.
The bone pants?
Well, I'm just beside court 9 here. We've got the Rodionova sisters who are warming up. Arena had a really significant win yesterday. It was 6-2, 6-love against Alenka Hubacek. There was some distraction out on the court yesterday as well, with some really strong, loud whistling going on as well. So it's just an interesting point. The players really need to deal with some of these distractions, the wind, the heat, obviously the work that's going on prior to the Australian Open out here as well. So she's playing Rachel Trudeau today, who lost yesterday, her first round loss in 3 sets. So the 2 sisters out here, Arena's just playing and they're just warming up, probably getting used to the conditions, the warmth at the moment as well. So she'll be playing early on this afternoon. So we look forward to seeing her out there again.
Time.
Certainly do. Thank you, Adrian. Plenty of action, as we mentioned, going on around the place today. But this is the match that we're focused on. JP Smith, early break in this opening set.
Love 15.
Seems to be starting to find his groove a little bit here, Guccione, just getting into the match. The breeze certainly picking up at court level, as you can hear.
$15.
Important now to keep consolidating that break. Always keep you in front.
$15.30.
What we'll see from Guccione here is the ability to grind it out now. He's jumped at the start. Won't be panicking too much. There's that step up in power too from Chris Guccione there, and something that JP will have to contend with, a step up in pace from his match yesterday.
Absolutely. We're also keeping an eye on the top seed, Greg Jones, who has been broken by Gavin Van Papaziel of Queensland.
Your man.
Greg Jones under a little bit of pressure out there on court 7 early.
Oh.
Good serve.
30-40.
Papaziel serving for a 3-1 lead out there on court 7, so we'll keep you updated.
Still a breakpoint opportunity here for Guccione.
Game Guccione.
Oh, terrific return. Full stretch cross courts. And we're back square again.
Yeah, a bit slow to get out of the blocks, the big Gooch, but his last two games on serve and returning serve have been extremely impressive.
And ball boy, there's a ball just at the back fence here next to the camera person.
The chair umpire all mic'd up. Ball boys working overtime.
Talking about court number, to the outside courts, court 8, Michael Look in action today against Isaac Frost. Great serve for Guccione.
15 love.
An interesting story, Michael Look, because first time we laid eyes on him was a couple of years ago when we were doing AO Series radio up in Brisbane. And he was hitting around, and a certain player was looking for a hitting partner. Great finish from Smith.
15.
So the ball was going to come in short.
Justine
on
the comeback trail at that stage.
And he's been able to follow it up, and we've been following his progress ever since, and he's had some reasonable results.
He certainly has. Also another lefty.
That's another great return. Guccione
15,
on his way forward, having to play the high volley. Backhand volley, forced to stretch. Oh, that is superb. That is a tough volley to hit. You're on the run, making your way up to the net, got great position, but forced to bend. It was a great return by Smith, but having to pick that up off his shoelaces and to generate the pace that he did to get that into the open court, magnificent. That's why he's so effective as a doubles player. And despite the fact he's got a big serve and generally will follow it in anyway, he He's also plays a lot of doubles, which obviously helps in singles game. Having said all of that, though, he now faces a break point.
He did everything right in that point, but the last shot, not able to execute.
Yes.
You're looking for a lot of free points.
It's landed quite a bit in that one. It's landed quite a bit in. It wasn't even close to it now. Yeah.
Again,
Advantage.
ball just sitting up nicely for Smith just to dispatch down the line. Guccione looking to come in off the back of that too, but he's just target practice at the moment.
Well, he's got to make the most of those, JP Smith. They sit up like that, can't be poking them back.
Yes.
Very nicely put away. Keep your tweets coming through. Hashtag of AO Play-off. That's where you can find us. Adam D. Bain writes, does anyone know what's happened to John Millman? He was set at 5 last year. That is a very good question. Very good question.
Well, you are an unabashed fan.
I was, yes.
Was.
Advantage. Yeah.
Once again, that superb touch.
I haven't heard much from John of late. Tracking his career, maybe injured. Well, we'll find out what exactly is happening with John at the moment.
Game Guccione.
So important hold for Guccione.
Guccione leads 3 games to 2.
We are on serve in this opening set, 3 games to 2. Adrian Franklin is just wandering around the place. He's made his way to court 5, Adrian.
That's right, guys. I'm out here watching Dane Propoggia up against James Lemke, and it's very, very tight at the moment. The current game we're in has gone to 3 deuces. Currently, Dane Propoggia is up 2 games to 1 against James Lemke. We also checked out court 8 as well, where we had Michael Look from Queensland up against Isaac Frost. Currently, Isaac is leading 2 games to 1.
Thank you, Adrian, keeping us up to date with all the scores around the place today.
Just a tweet that's coming through my own Twitter here, Pete. A very good piece in the Australian newspaper today, if you do pick up a copy, about the nation's tennis turnaround, and the very good work by Steve Wood, of course, the Tennis Australia CEO. So you can actually read that online, theaustralian.com.au. A big article on Australian tennis. Serena's off to train.
Is she?
She's been in Milan.
Breaking news. Yep. Serena's training.
Yes.
Hold the presses.
Got to get rid of my unsightly muffin top, she says. Thank you, Serena.
Looking forward to seeing her here in Australia.
And Oracene.
Oracene as well. Yeah, you're good friends with Oracene. One of the few to get a one-on-one interview with Oracene Williams.
Well, a fascinating lady. It was only 2 minutes, but she...
it's 2 minutes. 2 minutes more than what a lot of other people get.
And a very, very nice lady. Bit of humour. Just takes it all in her stride. She does. Doesn't watch much of the tennis these days. It's a good chance to have a nap.
Meanwhile, back here,
30 love.
very interesting match unfolding. It's a slow start by Guccione. He is now working his way back into this.
That's it. Love.
Nice serve out wide from Smith. What is your Twitter handle?
At Brett A. Phillips. Don't ask me what the A is.
Don't tweet in either.
Game Smith.
Great serve out wide. So
3 games all.
Gets it all square again at 3 games all.
He'll be happy with that. Holding to love. Puts the pressure back on Guccione. He's had a couple of good looks at some second serves, says JP Smith. So we'll be looking for a couple more of those. But Guccione now starting to find his range, particularly on that first ball. Better, getting
15
a bit more depth on that first volley, forcing Smith to move, and that really puts the pressure on because that high lob comes in, no penetration on the lob, easily able to put it away.
Love.
Just cranking up the serve there, Guccione. Down the tee. If you can get that approach shot right, he can come in behind it with a bit of confidence because of his reach. Obviously he's good double skills, but he needs to get that approach right, doesn't he?
Well, fortuitous there from Smith. Just upsetting the momentum. Again, nice work from the Gooch, looking like another easy service game here, but notice Smith just stepping in on the Guccione serve, taking it early, which is not a bad tactic against a serve volley player, really rushing the ball onto their racket.
Guccione,
easily put away the overheads. On serve in this opening set. 4 games to 3.
I can tell you, Pete,
just on the brown box. The
court number 7, Greg Jones, he did concede the early break. The number 1 seed from New South Wales against Kevin Van Papaziel of Queensland. But Jones back on track now at 4-2, serving at 30-15 for a 5-2 lead in the first set. So we'll keep you updated on court 7 with Adrian roaming around the other court.
Well,
so
let's go to him right now because I believe he's got Frankie Sawyer, the tournament director of the Wildcard Playoff. Adrian.
That's right, tournament director extraordinaire. Frankie, last year Mark Handley took the reins.
Yep, so grab those.
This year he's departed and you've stepped up. How are you going? How do you feel at the moment running? It's a big show out there.
It's a very big show. It's a big commitment that we have to undertake, but we're enjoying it every day.
And what goes into this sort of tournament in the lead up to it? What takes up most of your time?
Certainly dealing with player requests, the entry process, the operations here at Melbourne Park with the Australian Open bump-in and the redevelopment of the site is certainly working with a number of departments to make sure we can put on an event as well as the bump-in of the O.
we've got some really big names out there today. Ash Barty's obviously playing later on. We've got Sam Groth. It's incredibly exciting to have these sorts of names playing here. So we really obviously want to get some more people coming down, free entry. There's a lot to come down and check out.
Exactly. You're going to see some quality tennis here with Ash Barty having a great win yesterday and the Matosevic-Groth match later on around lunchtime. Perfect opportunity and the great weather that Melbourne's put on for us. Great opportunity to come down and watch some tennis.
Do you get to go out and watch any matches yourself, or are you just running around like a madman?
Just running around like a madman at the moment, Adrian, and if I can get to see a couple of points, that's a bonus.
Okay, enjoy the rest of the day.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, Adrian. Tough work from both players there. Again, Guccione having to pick one up off his shoelaces. And Smith knowing to come forward, not hanging back, really going on the attack. Francis Sawyer doing a wonderful job. Hello to Mark Hadley too, who I know will be tuned into the stream down there in Tassie, busily preparing for the Marilla Hobart International.
He's apparently got one of the best houses you've ever seen in Hobart.
30 love.
I have heard that.
He's not staying in...
he's not slumming it.
Some shack. It's quite a sip he's got
yes.
down there.
Some have even called it mansion-like.
Yep. What an acquisition.
40 love.
So the stalemate between these two at the moment. A couple of easy service games. Looking forward to bringing you all the action. HobartInternational.com.au live streaming of the Hobart International. I believe I'm wandering down for that one. Apparently Handles has promised me some top grade hospitality too. So an easy hold for Smith now.
4 games on.
Players not under any real pressure on serve, so we're starting to settle into the tone of the match, and at this stage it's got tiebreak written all over it.
Yeah, it certainly has. A real arm wrestle at the moment. Of course, JP getting out to that 2-love lead. Guccione's fought back well. There's the kids make their way in, Pete. Not sure what school they're from. A lot of the school kids coming through Melbourne Park. We'll see if we can get a shot of them in just a tick. But
well, it also combines in with a number of Hot Shots programs that are being run here at Melbourne Park, and jump onto the Hot Shots website too, because there are Hot Shots programs being run all over Australia.
15 love.
Well played again there by Guccione. There they are. With the hats on, the sunscreen. Well covered up and coming in to watch a little bit of tennis.
That's love.
Let's go that serve. Well, it's on song. Very hard for JP Smith to get an effective return.
Love.
Of course, if you're not familiar with the Hot Shots program, it's for ages 5 to 12, and it's basically an introduction to tennis. Modified courts, modified tennis balls, rackets. So it's designed to keep it fun, designed to keep it easy.
Game Guccione.
Guccione holds, still on
Guccione
serve in
leads
its opening
5 games
sets.
to 4.
But a great opportunity for kids to get into tennis, and it's a lot of fun, and then you can eventually advance through. So there are different levels, the red stage, orange stage and green stage, which have different degrees of difficulty attached to them as well, but you can play it anywhere. The small nets, it's smaller courts.
Yep.
If you want to find out more, hotshots.tennis.com.au, and in particular, it'd be a good way to find where your local club is that is running the Hot Shots program, and there are plenty of clubs around Australia that are doing this program. You can see a shot of the kids being put through their paces. I know the local associations here, Tennis Victoria, do some wonderful work with promoting the Hot Shots program.
The empty Powerade bottle? Can you throw
And it's just wonderful to see the kids getting out there and being a part of it.
Look at them, having a ball. They're loving it.
So hotshots.tennis.com.au. Well, Adrian Franklin, he's moved into superstar status because he's just alongside one of the greats, all-time greats of the game, Todd Woodbridge, Adrian.
That's right, head of professional tennis at Tennis Australia. Todd, we've got some serious...
Brazil of Queensland, but Jones back on track now at 4-2, serving at 30-15 for a 5-2 lead in the first set. So we'll keep you updated on court 7 with Adrian roaming around the other court.
Well,
so
let's go to him right now because I believe he's got Frankie Sawyer, the tournament director of the Wildcard Play-off. Adrian.
That's right, tournament director extraordinaire. Frankie, last year Mark Handley took the reins.
Yep, so grab those.
This year he's departed and you've stepped up. How are you going? How do you feel at the moment running? It's a big show out there.
It's a very big show. It's a big commitment that we have to undertake, but we're enjoying it every day.
And what goes into this sort of tournament in the lead up to it? What takes up most of your time?
Certainly dealing with player requests, the entry process, the operations here at Melbourne Park with the Australian Open bump in and the redevelopment of the site is certainly working with a number of departments to make sure we can put on an event as well as the bump in of the AO.
We've got some really big names out there today. Ash Barty's obviously playing later on. We've got Sam Groth. It's incredibly exciting to have these sorts of names playing here. So we really obviously want to get some more people coming down, free entry. You know, there's a lot to come down and check out.
Exactly. You're going to see some quality tennis here with Ash Barty having a great win yesterday and the Matosevic-Groth match later on around lunchtime. Perfect opportunity and the great weather that Melbourne's put on for us. Great opportunity to come down and watch some tennis.
Do you get to go out and watch any matches yourself, or are you just running around like a madman?
Just running around like a madman at the moment, Adrian, and if I can get to see a couple of points, that's a bonus.
Okay, enjoy the rest of the day.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, Adrian. Tough work from both players there. Again, Guccione having to pick one up off his shoelaces. And Smith knowing to come forward, not hanging back, really going on the attack. Francis Sawyer doing a wonderful job. Hello to Mark Handley too, who I know will be tuned into the stream down there in Tassie, busily preparing for the Marilla Hobart International.
He's apparently got one of the best houses you've ever seen in Hobart.
30 love.
I have heard that.
He's not staying in...
he's not slumming it.
Some shack. It's quite a setup he's got
yes.
down there.
Some have even called it mansion-like.
Yep. What an acquisition.
40 love.
So the stalemate between these two at the moment. A couple of easy service games. Looking forward to bringing you all the action. HobartInternational.com.au live streaming of the Hobart International. I believe I'm wandering down for that one. Apparently Handles has promised me some top grade hospitality too. So an easy hold for Smith now.
4 games off.
Players not under any real pressure on serve, so we're starting to settle into the tone of the match, and at this stage got tiebreak written all over it.
Yeah, it certainly has. A real arm wrestle at the moment. Of course, JP getting out to that 2-love lead. Guccione's fought back well. There's the kids make their way in, Pete. Not sure what school they're from. A lot of the school kids coming through Melbourne Park. We'll see if we get a shot of them in just a tick. But
well, it also combines in with a number of Hot Shots programs that are being run here at Melbourne Park, and jump onto the Hot Shots website too, because there are Hot Shots programs being run all over Australia.
15 love.
Well played again there by Guccione. There they are. The hats on, the sunscreen, well covered up and coming in to watch a little bit of tennis.
That's a game
that serve. Well, it's on song. Very hard for JP Smith to get an effective return.
love.
Of course, if you're not familiar with the Hot Shots program, it's for ages 5 to 12, and it's basically an introduction to tennis. Modified courts, modified tennis balls, rackets. So it's designed to keep it fun, designed to keep it easy.
Game Guccione.
Guccione holds, still on
Guccione
leads,
leads
opening
5 games
sets.
to 4.
But a great opportunity for kids to get into tennis, and it's a lot of fun, and then you can eventually advance through. So There are different levels, the red stage, orange stage and green stage, which have different degrees of difficulty attached to them as well, but you can play it anywhere. The small nets, it's smaller courts.
Yep.
If you want to find out more, hotshots.tennis.com.au, and in particular, it'd be a good way to find where your local club is that is running the Hot Shots program, and there are plenty of clubs around Australia that are doing this program. You can see a shot of the kids being put through their paces. I know the local associations here, Tennis Victoria, do some wonderful work with promoting the Hot Shots program.
The empty Powerade bottle? Can you throw
And it's just wonderful to see the kids getting out there and being a part of it.
Look at them, having a ball. They're loving it.
So hotshots.tennis.com.au. Well, Adrian Franklin, he's moved into superstar status because he's just alongside one of the greats, all-time greats of the game, Todd Woodbridge, Adrian.
That's right, head of professional tennis at Tennis Australia. Todd, we've got some serious action out there today at the moment. JP Smith up against Gooch. Have you had a look at that match?
Well, I've just been putting my head around the corner there, having a look at it. It's one of interest for me for two reasons. To see where Gooch is at coming into the Australian summer. Obviously, he's had a lot of trouble with the Achilles throughout the year. He's been training hard the last 10 days here in Melbourne. And then it's just to see Smith, because he's had an extraordinary career at college. A lovely young guy with a great attitude, and has quickly got himself moving up the rankings in the last couple of months after getting out of college, and it's somebody that I think we really need to take a look at and focus on to see what he's capable of. So the two big lefties out there, aggressive style of play, so yeah, it's an important one to have a look at, because I think he's a guy that over the next 12 months we might see really get to a level of potentially 200 or even better.
Yeah, he was very impressive yesterday. Hardly missed a ball. Really impressive off the court too. Yep. I spoke to him. Very well. Got a couple of the girls on too. Ash Barty and Casey Delacqua. Yeah. Obviously yesterday, Ash got over Casey. Yeah. See, Craig Tiley and I were watching a bit of that and having a chat. That was really impressive stuff.
Well, it's important for both of them to see how they react from the win for Ash, which is obviously a career win in terms of beating somebody of that stature, and then also for Casey to see whether she can absorb that disappointment of what was for her a pressure match and a disappointing loss. So you'd have a look at the draw, and I think it's a bit unfortunate they're in that same group, because I think potentially they're both the two best players in the playoff at the present moment, and so it's for both of them now to get through to see whether they get to play twice in the 1 week.
And big Sam Groth up against Matosevic later on. So obviously Marenko won last year. How is he going at the moment? Where do you feel he's at?
Well, it's been a very difficult year, but a good year at the same time. A couple of the guys we've really focused on trying to make them aware that they've got to get out of the challenger zone of the tour. And the two guys that have done that this year have been Matt Ebden, who's now in the top 100, and Marenko. Marenko is a match or two away from being in the top 100 as well, but when you look at his ranking, he's 203, and you go, well, that can't be a good year. It's quite the contrary for him, because his level of play is improved, his attitude's improved, everything's improved, and the fact that he qualified for Wimbledon and several other tour events indicates that he's made that move. What happens when you qualify for a tour event and you don't win them extra match or two, you drop the points that you've been able to make quite easily at challenger level. So, that's the only thing, is it really, on reflection, his ranking doesn't indicate how well he actually played throughout the year. The match-up today is also a difficult one, because Sam Groth's such a erratic player, for a better word, because he serves massive, he hits the ball all over the place, but you don't know what's coming next. Could be a winner, could be an error, and it's very hard to get rhythm. And also Sam's keen as mustard to get going, coming off shoulder surgery earlier in the year and some life difficulties with his marriage and so on, and he's in a good headspace now, and really wants to do some damage and prove some points here. So Marenko's got a difficult match for himself today.
Special point on the December showdown itself. I mean, it's such an event now. We've got so many coaches here as well, so much time to have meetings, educational sessions, all that sort of thing. I mean, you must get a lot out of these couple of weeks.
Well, they're tiring couple of weeks, I've got to tell you. Look, it's amazing how much this event's built. There's college scouts out here watching matches and all sorts of things over the last couple of weeks. So internationally, everybody around the world knows what this event's become in all the major tennising nations. They know what we're doing, how many matches get played here at Melbourne Park, the wildcard playoff, the professionalism of it all, even from you guys, as being able to live stream it. So it's extraordinary where the events hum. And what I love about it is we get everybody here, the coaches, but also all the players, and you create a great environment for everybody to continue working. So as soon as they're done out of this particular event, they're not going anywhere. They're staying here and they're going into that block to get ready for the Australian summer and the new year. So I think this is one of the best things that we've done here in Australian tennis to really create culture.
Well, thank you very much for your time. We'll head back down to Gooch and JP.
I look forward to getting out there and watching a bit more.
Thanks Todd.
Adrian.
Thank you for that, Adrian, with Todd Woodbridge. Some interesting points to pick up on. We're at 5-all here, though, in this match. The system of challenger versus qualifying for main ATP Tour events, great shot by Smith. It's interesting how he set that up and to be able to make that transition, because, as Todd says, it can be really easy to fall into that trap of playing challenger events, picking up easy points as opposed to going in and trying to qualify for main draw ATP events.
It's a great insight to listen to Todd there, particularly about Marenko and his situation, because the ranking doesn't quite paint the true picture.
30-40.
And if he was able to win one of those challenges, well, he cuts that in half. So that's the challenge. But yeah, really interesting insight into how the whole tour works and how Todd, as the head of professional tennis, is now really trying to give some of these guys some big goals to really step up.
And achievable goals as well.
Absolutely.
That's the other thing.
Yep.
So break point for Smith. Big chance. Easily put away.
Well played.
There's the break. 6 games to 5.
Smith leads 6 games to 5.
Come out and serve for this opening set, the 2012 Wildcard Playoff on tennis.com.au.
Well, he's answered every challenge, JP Smith. He came out of the block, started beautifully. Chris Guccione working his way back into the game, and at one stage we may have thought Gucci was really going to get on top and run away with the opening set, but he has held his own, and as Todd mentioned, they're really keen, the TA officials here, to have a really good look at JP Smith and what he can do going forward. The guy, certainly from what we've seen in the game yesterday and one set here, has certainly got the capacity to get that ranking down in the next 12 months. Got a very, very solid game.
Plenty of Twitter messages coming in. Andy Strudwick, sitting at home on this rainy day in Brisbane, enjoying the AO Playoff live streaming. Scott Robertson keeps serving those bombs. Pat Smith and take down the Gooch. AO serving man who's actually here today. Getting hot. Need to buy me a sombrero. It is quite warm today, 28 degrees.
Yeah, keep your tweets coming through. Hashtag AO Playoff. We can tell you Greg Jones against Gavin Van Pepperzeal of Queensland. Took the opening set pretty comfortably and now leads 2 games to love in the second. So he can set a very early break and has got on top.
Love 15.
Well, he managed to get that break back early on in this first set, Chris Guccione. That's what he has to do, but Smith, since that time, has been serving well.
It's 15 or
one of the things that's impressed me about JP Smith has been his serving ability. High percentage of first serves into play.
It's 30-15.
So a couple of points away from this first set. The idea was right, trying to move Smith around, but not being able to pull it off. 40-15, 2 set points now for JP Smith.
To take it to a tie break. 2 set points. Exactly right.
Game of first set.
Close it out with haste. Great performance by JP Smith. 7 games to 5, the opening sets in our opening match on day 2 of the Australian Open 2012 Wildcard Playoff. He will take plenty of confidence into this second set, JP Smith. Was a little bit of an arm wrestle.
Very well played.
JP going to wander off the court. Bathroom break, one would suspect.
Very well played. Still to come today, of course. This match to be followed by Ashley Barty and Stephanie Binkson of New South Wales. Ashley, of course, defeating Casey Delacroix on day 1, and Stephanie went down to Emmeline Starr, the 8th seed. Sam Groth, who defeated John Peers in straight sets. He takes on Marenko Matosevic, who had the bye, and Luke Seville, who defeated a really good player from New South Wales. Good up-and-coming young player, just 15, Chris O'Connell. So Seville takes on James Duckworth, the 5th seed, who had the bye. All those matches to come today on tennis.com.au. And there's quite a few of the coaches and key people who...
And probably the most familiar name you would see there is Jason Stoltenberg.
Yeah.
The front of your picture there. So plenty of work for this man to do. Chris Guccione, after dropping the opening set.
Well, as Todd said, I mean, to come back from an Achilles injury is really tough. Probably one of the hardest injuries to come back from in any sporting code. But he certainly got himself into that first set. Was able to crank up the first serve, but JP had the answers, consistency of first serve, and he came out with some cracking returns. Really, took advantage when the short ball was there to pounce on it and put it away. Another glorious day in Melbourne. In fact, we've got a great week, so just come and park yourself at the tennis if you're in Melbourne.
And you got the day off, of course. Not suggesting you skip work to come down here, are we?
Well, if you've got a bit of flexibility. Some can dictate their workday. Just go to a meeting.
Good shot of the Melbourne skyline if you've never been to Melbourne Park. Right on the edge of the CBD. And that side you've got the city. The other side you've got the mighty MCG. You've got Amy Park over the back. The old Olympic Park precinct. It's one of the best sporting precincts, I reckon, in the world.
Oh, I think the best. Yeah, right on the doorstep of the CBD, and this whole area, of course, with the major redevelopment at Melbourne Park is it's going to look spectacular over the next 3 or 4 years. Been done in different stages. It's well underway.
Time. See, there's an empty
What
water
a
bottle
logistical
there.
exercise to still run the Australian Open with the whole precinct having a facelift.
Second set. Guccione to serve.
Okay, so set for a start now in the second sets. Guccione again to serve.
15 love. Love.
I tried to give that everything, Smith, there, but just not enough on the lob.
Yeah, tough to get past Guccione. It's got to be a very effective lob.
And dropping it in. So again, that serve too short. Guccione, Smith able to step in.
Well, he's almost got a 100% strike rate, Pete. With that second serve, the return. JP Smith.
40-15.
Oh, he's going to win more points than he loses now. Guccione coming into the net.
Game, Guccione.
And on the board
First
in
game,
this
second set.
second sets. JP Smith taking the first if you're just joining us. 7-5.
We'll keep you updated with the other matches. Greg Jones is set and 3-1 up, the number 1 seed out on court 7 against Van Paperseel of Queensland. Isaac Frost.
Your man's struggling a little bit out there.
Started well, but the better opponent is certainly in terms of ranking has got on top. Isaac Frost, 6-2 opening set against Michael Look. The Battle of the Queenslanders. We'll update you on Rapoggia and Lemke shortly. That's it on court number 5.
Smith made up plenty of ground to get to really close in on the net, just couldn't finish it off. Again, impressive to see. He's gone out on the attack. He's not hanging back.
$15.
Well, I think the ball actually fell out of his pocket there.
Yeah, I know.
Smith.
I've seen the ball after he's already hit the ball out. If that ball lands in, we replay the point.
What?
I've seen the ball after he's hit the shot because he hits the shot. If that ball had a land, if his shot lands in, we replay the point. Yeah, so he loses the point. Yeah, and because that fell out and you'd won the point, again, you win the point. But because if we replay the point, that disadvantages you. Yeah. Yeah. No, because we haven't replayed a point yet. Yeah. No, this one... No, if it happens again, we replay the point because we haven't replayed a point yet.
Good clarification. Go through that in a moment.
30 all.
So, I noticed the ball fell out of JP Smith's pocket there as he hit that volley wide. So the point went to Guccione, and what Gooch was talking about was, if it happens again, is it a point penalty or is it to replay? Because there's a series of degrees that if your hat falls off or the ball falls out of your pocket, that you can be penalised if it happens a number of times. And so just clarifying with the umpire that if it happens again, we'll be replaying. Door open here for Guccione with the break points. As the umpire quite rightly pointed out to Gooch there, probably just good that you take the point rather than replaying it.
Exactly right.
Because it'd be an obvious disadvantage if they replayed the point as opposed to just calling the point as it is. Where the ball landed was out. Well, I had plenty of options there. Could have gone the lob, went straight down the line. It was open. And a break point saved.
Yeah, well played there by JP. Shot before had sort of just fallen to that mid-court range, and Guccione coming to the net. Passed him beautifully.
So from breakpoint down, an opportunity to hold, keep things on serve in this second set. Interesting game on the outside courts. Court number 5, Brett.
James Lemke, of course, Melbourne boy, 6th seed, and Dane Propoggia, very tight. 4 games all. We'll keep you updated. Great serve. And he's able to hold. So a game apiece in this second set. That man on screen taking the first. And the battle continues.
Sure does. Greg Jones looking like he's heading towards a straight sets win out on court number 7.
Yeah, setting 4-2 up against Gavin Van Paperzeel of Queensland.
So again, Gooch will be looking to cycle through his service game.
Hamish McIntosh, it looks like, the
Hank.
big North Melbourne ruckman. Of course, a few of the North Melbourne boys will be here today. Liam Anthony.
14. Doing a hot shots program on court 4. Be keeping a close eye on that. Just check the form.
Is that Luke Hodge, I think, sitting next to Hamish? No. Don't know.
Halt! So Guccione holds to love. Games on serve in this second set. 2 games to 1. And as the players sit down, we're going to head across. We've been looking at the hot shots and talking about that this morning. Adrian Franklin is with Craig Morris over there. Adrian.
Indeed, I have Craig Morris himself, the leader of MLC Tennis Hot Shots, which is the modified game. Plenty of fun out here. Craig, we've got kids coming in.
Adrian.
What's going on with this program, MLC Tennis Hot Shots?
Well, this is obviously the major junior sports participation program for tennis, and it's been around for 3 or 4 years and seeing over 250,000 kids a year. So kids have a lot of fun, low compression balls, little rackets, little nets that you can see here, and makes it easy for the kids to play tennis. So they love it.
And we've got
we love it.
Of course we do. Look at this. We've got the in-schools program as well. So Hot Shots, tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, we've got about 1,200 kids coming through the last 2 weeks during the December showdown to have a tennis experience, to get on court here with the Hot Shot stuff, to watch the pros in action, to get motivated for tennis, and hopefully let them bring along for the Open and see some of the pros next month. So a great way to engage the schools, been really popular, and the kids absolutely love it.
And there's a lot of competition out there, but where do we want to go with this program? How many kids do we want to get there over the next few years in tennis hot shots, MLC tennis hot shots?
MLC tennis hot shots. It's well done, Franco. It is about trying to get well over 800,000 kids in the sport, engaging schools, engaging clubs, engaging coaches, all different ways of engaging the sport. It's all about the balls and the rackets. More success, more hitting opportunities, more success, therefore more fun, and really trying to break down the perception that tennis is tough. Because look at these 2 kids, hardly played. Look at this. Look at this. You getting this?
Are you guys having fun over there?
Yes.
All right, so
yes.
Now we've got to whack the ball with this camera. So here we go.
No, it's all about. Are we off?
Yeah, we're off. Go for it.
Well, interesting over there. I don't know, what was that? We're just having Hotshot's ball slammed into our commentary box.
The red cordial down there, that
I
pair.
know. Craig Morris is up and about.
That's
It's the most animated I've seen, Morris. He's all over it. What do they say, though? That in TV, you should never work with kids and animals?
Yes. That's very true.
Meanwhile, back here, another easy service game coming up for JP Smith, looking very comfortable. hotshots.tennis.com.au is the website if you'll find out more about how to get your kids into that program. Oh, luck of the nets.
It's a great return from the Gooch right at the bootlaces, and he picked it up. And he gets it to 2-all. It's been a high quality match.
Carry them all around to here. Put them on the ground. Quickly run those three up.
A bit of a slow start.
Over here.
Wrestle at the moment.
Straight to the
James
plate.
Lemke taking the first set from Dane Propoggia. 6 games to 4.
And Greg Jones with a match point out on court 7. Number 1 seed.
1-all in the second sets, Propoggia and Lemke.
Low.
So we'll just keep an eye on that match on court 7, Brett, because it's gone back to juice. 5 games to 2 in the second set. Jones leading. He did take the first set.
Yeah, Van Papaziel serving in the 8th game. Jones trying to break.
Love.
Gavin Van Papaziel has held there on court 7. 5 games to 3 now, with Jones serving for the match. Just missing the volley. Good work by Smith, just playing it into the body of Guccione there. Just cramping him for room. Back to 30-all with that double faults. Just an update out on court 8. Frost v. Look. 6-2, 2-all in the second set. So it looks like Isaac Frost has taken that first set. It's a high-intensity style of tennis that Guccione's playing at the moment, but it's effective.
Now 3 match points for Greg Jones on serve, out on court 7, and it looks like he might have just served down a big ace, and the number 1 seed out there on court 7 wins in straight sets. He is through.
Guccione.
So Guccione holds here. A little bit of a struggle in that game, but we're still on serve in the second set. So Greg Jones, as Brett mentioned, is through to the quarterfinals, and the number 1 seed will play the winner of Propoggia and Lemke in the top part of the draw.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, just to confirm, Lenky 6-4 in the first against Dane Propoggia. And early stages of the second set there. So the next match yet on court 5 after that Propoggia-Lemke battle will be Ben Mitchell. Looking forward to seeing Ben Mitchell in action, the third seed. He plays Matthew Barton, who got through yesterday. We've got a tight battle here in the first match as part of the 2012 AO Wildcard Playoff. You can, of course, hashtag us AO Playoff. Keep your tweets coming through. We'll speak to plenty more guests throughout the course of the afternoon. Adrian's wandering around the courts. So just a great day to come and park yourself on one of the courts here and watch some good young Australian tennis players coming through the ranks. Ones we hear about but don't get to see up close because they're travelling the globe and playing the futures and the challenges.
It was a late call, but an overrule by the umpire. There is a linesperson on that line.
I must say, Pete, we're sort of sitting right over the top of that. My first initial reaction was it didn't land in the service box. So a good call.
The umpire only overrules if they're 100% sure. Ball too deep. Guccione on the backhand there. Impressive his positioning on the court, Smith.
Yeah.
Particularly on his serve. He's got plenty of variety, which he's not afraid to use. And easy following it in. Trailing behind the ball. Nice deep approach, setting up the points.
Yep. Yeah, pretty tough for Guccione to get a really good return back when it's the depth off the JP racket.
Dan Smith.
3-3 now. JP Smith taking the first sets, 7-5. Coming up next, Ash Barty. Match a lot of people are waiting for. Her second match in the round robin stages. Taking on Stephanie Bengson from New South Wales.
Yeah, came in with no real expectation this week. Having won the under-18s, she was able to get in and... Oh, what a return!
Body behind the ball, just trapping it, the short angle. It was just blocked back, using the pace of the Guccione serve. We've seen that plenty of times in this match. And again, that is on the line, edge of the line. And some terrific returning. The ability to use the pace of the Guccione serve, as I've said. Oh, really, Guccione had nowhere else to go there. Full stretch.
That's it.
It's another good return at the feet. The approaching player is a tall guy, Guccione. Doesn't like having to play around his ankles.
Well, those are the sort of returns you've got to come up with against a player who serves like Guccione does.
So break point again for Smith.
That's it. Yes.
Frustrating for Smith. You just know that big first is going to come in.
Yeah, pretty tough to counteract, isn't it?
Advantage, Guccione.
And that one.
That's all he needs, the Gooch, when he's in a little bit of strife. Just get a couple of good first serves, unplayable first serves.
Oh, that'd be frustrating. Tough pick up again in mid-court from Guccione. But boy, the JP Smith return has been sensational.
Looks like he's enjoying himself out there too. Step up in opponent. A chance to see where he's at as a player.
Advantage, Guccione.
Then you can make those inroads and they can be just dashed so quickly.
Maybe you wouldn't have enjoyed that so much. Good part about him today, though, is when he's had a look at his second serve, his returns have been magnificent. Now he gets a chance to have a look at one.
Maybe the opportunity to put it out to the forehand here.
Outstanding, Guccione.
The result.
Guccione leads 4 games to 3.
So games continuing on serve. Second sets. Are we heading for a tie-break perhaps? Well, Greg Jones didn't really have to head for a tie-break today. The number 1 seed is through to the quarterfinals of the wildcard playoff. He's with Adrian Franklin.
Greg, you just had a pretty solid first match then against Gavin Van Papersale. How did you feel it went for you?
I thought I was pretty happy with how I played. It was relatively straightforward, but Gavin played a great game in the first set to break me, which put me under a bit of pressure early on.
You are the number 1 seed. Does that bring a little bit of extra motivation for you or a little bit more pressure? Which way does it work for you?
Probably a bit of both. I mean, definitely gives me a lot of confidence knowing that I'm the highest ranked player in the draw, but like that, comes a little bit of pressure, so definitely a bit of both.
Last year you made it all the way to the final round of the qualifying for the Australian Open, so obviously maybe that's even a bit more determination for you to just pull it off this week here and just get that out of the way.
Yep, well obviously like you said, that one hurt a lot last year. I've never played Australian Open main draw before, and it's something that I always dreamed of doing. So the way I'm sort of approaching this is I get the opportunity to try and qualify twice.
Your next round opponent could be, the matches on at the moment, either Dane Propoggia or James Lemke. I think James Lemke won the first set there.
Yep.
What do you think of either of those guys? Do you take much consideration in who you're playing, or it's just all about you?
I mean, initially it's going to be about me, just got to try and recover after my match, but then I'll try and get out and watch. I think it might be going to 3 by the looks of things, so try and get out and watch a bit of them.
I was way too fast.
I see you in the gym all throughout the year. Fitness is a big thing for you to really do well out there on court.
Yeah, I think for everyone really, the way the game's going now, it's so physical, and if you're not fit, fast, strong, endurance, everything, you need all of it, otherwise you have no chance of competing at the top, so that's what I'm trying to do.
Good luck in the next round.
No worries, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Adrian. Thank you, Adrian.
Love it,
Little exchange, Pete, we couldn't quite pick up there. JP Smith and the chair umpire.
Yeah, I wasn't sure whether it was an overruled call or not, but he did have to replay the points, and that was what the discussion was about. Play that slice, just trying to dig it across court. So now the door slightly ajar for Chris Guccione here.
We certainly do know when it's a fault. The door certainly ajar now for a couple of break points for Chris Guccione. Get to a 5-3 lead in this second set. Keep your tweets coming through. We'll get to a few of those in a moment. Hashtag AO Play-off. Keep your thoughts coming through. If you're just joining our live stream, Greg Jones, the number 1 seed, he is through to the quarters. We just heard from him. Great serve into the body of Guccione there by JP, so he saves one of those break points.
Yeah, needs a big first serve here, Brett, because Guccione's going to be all over the second ball. Probably looking to come in as well off the back of it. Got what he was looking for. Back to deuce. So after a little bit of a struggle here, Smith saving a couple of break points. He's been able to get himself out of trouble different periods throughout the match.
Absolutely. That's what I like about him. He just plays each point on its merits.
Advantage, Smith.
He's getting there in time, Guccione. He's just not stopping though as he hits that ball. Sort of drifting wide. So Smith now with a game point. Level things back up in this second set. I thought was long as well. Yeah.
Yes.
That's right near our commentary position.
Yeah, it was my first impression too, Pete.
Tough overhead by Guccione. Let the ball bounce. Gave himself a bit more time. Tough call for the umpire. Furthest point away in the court. A bit of luck going Guccione's way. In that commentary position, you can see in relation to that line.
Advantage, Smith.
But he gets another opportunity. Boy, it was close on that line before. Again, you saw a bit of everything from Smith. The net, full stretch.
Yep.
Great speed to get back for that lob. Oh, so that one would be a bit of a struggle for JP Smith. Four games all, though. In this second set, Smith taking the first 7 games to 5.
Casey Delac with the number 1 seed, Pete. She is just underway in her match against Emmeline Starr, the 8th seed. That's out on court 7. It's a game apiece there in the opening set. Of course, the match following the victory by Greg Jones, the top seed in the men's draw through to the quarterfinals.
15 love.
Looks like James Lemke might be closing in on victory out there on court 5. Jones to play either Lemke or Propoggia in the quarters. Guccione trying to hold here for a 5-4 lead.
30 love.
He's had to play some terrific volleys, Guccione, in this match.
It was a
really tough volley,
yeah,
deep into the court.
It was a decent return from JP Smith, but beautifully executed.
So 5-4 in this second set.
Guccione leads 5 games to 4.
Games on serve throughout.
So JP's got to come and do it all over again to try and square it up. Casey Delac has got a break serving at 2-1 out there on court 7. James Lemke closing in on victory out on court 5 against Dane Propoggia. Isaac Frost has set up in 4-all in the second against Michael Look. That is the live action on day 2 of the 2012 AO Wildcard Playoff. It's great to have you with us here at tennis.com.au. And on YouTube, you can hashtag us AO Playoff. Send your tweets through right throughout the course of the day. A beautiful 28 degrees. So if you're in Melbourne, you can come down, get in for free. If you want to bring your own lunch, you